Despite billions spent on children each year, a new report is warning that Jamaica is not seeing the results where it matters most. The Caribbean Policy Research Institute, CAPRI, says there's a troubling disconnect between public spending and actual outcomes for the nation's children. More in this report. When it comes to the nation's children, Jamaica is investing, but not effectively. That's the stark conclusion from CAPRI's latest report. Room for improvement, the gap between public spending and child outcomes in Jamaica. The study examined nearly a decade of government spending from 2017 to 2026 across 8 key areas impacting children, including health, education, child protection, and social services. The report analyzes the pattern of Jamaica's child-relevant spending and assesses whether allocations are structured to translate into outcomes. The findings raise serious concerns. Jamaica spends about 5% of GDP on education, more than many countries, yet learning outcomes remain low. Even more troubling, workforce productivity does not reflect that investment, ranking among the lowest in Latin America and the Caribbean. CAPRI argues the problem starts very early. The first 1,000 days of a child's life, considered critical for development, fall largely outside the education budget, despite offering the highest return on investment at 13%. Meanwhile, spending in areas like health, housing, child protection, and social protection is described as thin, vulnerable, and lacking transparency.
In 2018, the government committed to developing a national safeguarding framework for children in sport and culture. 7 years later, no publicly verifiable output has been identified. The commitment to develop CHAMPS as a premier global track event has no traceable dedicated budget line. We consider ourselves a cultural, creative, and track and field superpower, but we are not funding the conditions that produce it.
The report identifies 2 major structural problems: too much spending at the wrong stage of a child's development and too much of the budget going to salaries, not services. Compensation of employees now consumes up to 86% of some budgets, leaving less for actual programs reaching children. Even sectors meant to enrich young lives like recreation, culture, and sport receive less than 2% of child-related spending, with shrinking operational support. And perhaps most concerning, there is no system linking spending to results.
So the estimates tell us what government intends to spend, what it plans to spend, what it spent the previous year, but it does not tell us what was delivered, to whom, or with what result. No requirement to report on outcomes mean there is no onus to achieve them. The absence of data is not just a data gap, and this is a finding of the report. It is an accountability gap.
CAPRI is now calling for urgent reform, including better tracking of child-focused spending, stronger accountability, and a shift toward early childhood investment. Among the key recommendations, child-specific reporting across ministries and agencies, increased funding in early years, stronger child protection systems, and the creation of a National Children's Trust Fund.